Ritchie Roundup. Well, let me get my hat straight here. Hat's not straight. Hold up. Talk amongst yourselves. There it is. I think it is. Got to get it looking good. This is, we're going to call this the TJ Ritchie Redneck Roundup tonight because I'm wearing a sleeveless t-shirt. That's because my air conditioner is out. And this is a shirt I wear when I need to stay cool. I got fans blowing on me. They keep coming saying they fixed the air conditioner. We fixed it. It's not fixed. It is not fixed, y'all. And I don't like it. All right. So thank you for listening and watching. I appreciate it. Go listen to all my other podcasts too. Got a bunch of stuff. You can hear my full radio show in its podcast form at tjritchie.com. You can get it there too. The TJ Ritchie show, the political one. Okay. Now, normally I will cover things that I didn't have time to cover during the radio show, but I did something on my show tonight that was pretty powerful, and I got a lot of response of people saying they wanted to hear it again. Please do that again. Or where can I find that thing that you played? So I figured that this would be the perfect opportunity to do it. I'll use it for the Ritchie Roundup tonight. And it was a clip of a guy. It's a long piece, so you have to listen to it, but you're going to be glad that you listened through the whole thing. It is a young man who is talking about what he had to face whenever he found out that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. And it's not what you think. What Charlie Kirk's assassination made him realize. All right. So if you heard it earlier in the show, that's great. People have been wanting to hear it again. If not, then you're going to like this. Listen.
Actually glad that Charlie Kirk was murdered, but probably not for the reason you think. I was at work when I first found out. A fellow employee had wandered up to me, cell phone in hand, and asked, "Did you hear that Charlie Kirk just got assassinated?" And I, without even a moment's hesitation, responded, "Good! That Nazi white supremacist piece of..." I had never before witnessed such a perfectly blended expression of disgust, disappointment, sadness, and surprise, all through the window of another man's eyes, or experienced a silence so uncomfortable as the one that followed. And although that look on his face now haunts me more and more with each passing day, at the time, it only made me distrustful and upset. But little did I know that the sentence which followed would end up becoming the most profoundly psychologically impactful question that I've ever been confronted with. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I decided to end the conversation immediately. This man was clearly a lost cause, one of those intellectually dishonest Kool-Aid drinking types who refuses to engage in good faith with any perspective which contradicts their outstandingly narrow and propagandized worldview. And by this man, I mean me. Because I hadn't actually watched any of his debates. I was basing literally every single thing I believe about a human being with thousands of hours worth of publicly available recordings of himself openly expressing his opinions on a small handful of out-of-context clips that had been curated for me by algorithms and media organizations being funded by the political opposition. I foamed at the mouth, right along with the rest of those rabid and bloodthirsty dogs, gleefully mocking those who had been saddened by his death and downplaying the atrocity of it all by suggesting that political violence is just an unfortunate yet necessary step toward our coveted socialist revolution. That is, until I began to notice a common thread. The exact same comment being repeated ad nauseum in nearly every single online space. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I didn't think much of it at first. Of course, right-wingers are all regurgitating the exact same talking point. They're in a cult. They're brainwashed. It was an ordinary and boring morning on the day I found out that I am a monster. In that moment where my curiosity got the best of me and I decided to click on some random YouTube thumbnail of Charlie Kirk with his goofy and gummy smile in an attempt to reaffirm my preconceived biases. And it was an unusually stressful afternoon on that very same day when I spoke to my father for the first time in years, despite the fact that he had always loved and supported me unconditionally. And it was a never-ending sleepless night, coming to terms with the fact that literally every single thing I thought I hated about the right, the bigotry, stupidity, violence, vitriol, and narrow-mindedness, was actually just an outward projection of hatred toward my own self. Charlie Kirk is my hero. He opened my eyes to the cruel and manipulative nature of our political media, brought my family back together, and taught me how to love again. And to anyone who takes issue or offense with that, I'm going to do exactly what he would have done and challenge you to answer a simple, honest, and straightforward question. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates?
Now, this says so much about, and I talked about this on the radio show, so much about what I'm always saying is that you have to take into consideration when you have these people that you step back and go, don't they see the facts? Don't they see what the media is lying about? Don't they see what these Marxists that lead the Democrat Party are saying, blah, blah, blah. It just takes a lot to get someone to come to grips with the fact that they've been lied to their entire lives. And not only have they been lied to, but they've believed the lies. And their principles have all been built around lies. But when you talk about these sorts of things and you look at the ones who do the indoctrinating of the left, the regular everyday leftists, the ones who are pulling the strings and doing the indoctrination and all, this is why they don't want people to know the real history of the world, of our country. They don't want the truth about people to be reported who they determine to be their enemies. This is why they don't have an honest media. The media is corrupt because it only promotes what the left wants it to promote. And through all of that, and you think about it, the left owns public education. They own the universities. They own the media. They own Hollywood. They own the music industry. They own all of these things that are just blasting propaganda into the minds of people constantly. And for conservatism and republicanism to still be as strong as it is, it has to be something solid. It has to be built upon solid facts and history that shows success in a society. So you think about a national election, and I say president, think about how much positive influence the Democrat candidate has from all of those places that I just named. And yet a Republican can still win because the principles that we believe in are true. Our principles are solid. Our principles have history that backs them up. This big socialist movement that's going on now within the Democrat Party, the history of socialism is clear. It does not work for the citizens. It's failed everywhere it's tried, but all they do is they come out and say, but it hasn't been done the right way. We would do it differently in America. And people still fall for it because the media pushes it. The Marxist universities and professors push it. Hollywood pushes it. Everything the left decides it wants to do, every direction they want to go, the farther left they go, the more their little entities will go with them. Yet we still stand solid. Because you see what happens. This guy is a prime example of what happens when the truth is actually allowed to shine. The truth about our people, the truth about our message. And that's what Charlie Kirk delivered the message of conservatism. And the message of conservatism and the message of God is what Charlie Kirk delivered. Now, he was super talented in the way that he did it, in the way that he was able to connect with so many people, especially young people. But Charlie Kirk was about the truth. And when people actually go, like this guy, and they find those clips of Charlie Kirk and they hear it for themselves and they go, wait a minute, he didn't say this, this, and this. He said that, but it was taken out of context, and the way he meant it was this. Or they'll never show you all of the clips of Charlie Kirk showing grace to people who attacked him when they would step up to those mics at the college campuses, and he would show grace to them. He would say, no, listen, I just want you to, and he was about everything that is free speech. That's what he was all about. But yet the liars on the left can't let that truth get out. They can't let Donald Trump's truth get out. It's just like that, there are good people on both sides controversy that they took from Charlottesville and made it seem like he was saying that there are good white supremacists out there. It's not at all what he said, but they ran with it and people believed it. They didn't want the truth to be out there. The fact that he asked for National Guard support on January 6th, and he said, go protest peacefully. They didn't want that getting out there. They said that he caused a riot and an insurrection because they can't. The Democrat Party in general does not survive on truth. It can't. It's built on nothing but a foundation of lies. Everything the Democrat Party stands for, every message they have is a lie. And that's why they're so protective of their lies. That's why they're so guarded when it comes to their voters, their supporters finding out the truth. I mean, look where they are right now with this this Southern Poverty Law Center. Not only have they been accused of paying a white supremacy group to go start some crap in Charlottesville so there would be a racial issue for the Democrat Party for, two reasons. One, so the Democrat Party would have a platform on which to run for president, which is what Joe Biden ran on. And the other was to raise money. You see all this white supremacy going on? Southern Poverty Law Center fights that. So send us money to help us fight that. Because, the supply and demand concept, there's a lot more demand on the left for white supremacy than there is supply of it in the United States. The supply of that has dried up pretty much. So they had to go create it according to their indictment and everything. Then come to find out one of their big high ups in the Southern Poverty Law Center was funneling money to a guy she was having relations with who's a white supremacist. That's the latest accusation. So it's just, it's nothing but lie after lie after lie, and do whatever you can do to protect the lies or they lose power. And this guy is a prime example of it. The guy that said, let me finally listen to what Charlie Kirk said. And it changed his life. Charlie Kirk became his hero on the spot. Because our message is just. Our principles are just. They're not built on lies. They're built on conviction, and they're built on the truth and patriotism and love. The left's principles are built on fraud and scams and lies and imprisonment. They're just rotten. So that little 3-minute clip illustrates all of that. All right, that's it for tonight with the Ritchie Roundup. Sorry, the Ritchie Redneck Roundup with the sleeveless t-shirt. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go check out all of my other stuff, please. I would really appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.